How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Weed Mine. It has been a while since I did a little bit of a video, and we are going to be changing directions because we got the merge coming up. So there's a few things that we really have to do. Now, what is it that we have to do? Well, everything has been running perfectly smooth for the longest time now. I got rid of the tent like a month ago, and everything has just been hunky-dory. You know, I turn the fans on, I adjust them once in a while depending on the temperatures and such, and things have been running great. No complaints whatsoever, but this is where the expansion and the goofiness is going to start. Now, this panel over here, this big old boy, that's the secondary panel, right? The first one we have running with all this stuff, and the second one is going to be getting put over here. What are we going to be doing over here? Well, it's very important that we start optimizing our electricity costs, which actually means that we're going to start pulling in some ASICs. Yes, the dreaded ASICs or whatever. I don't have a single one yet, but I do have some on order. The little bitty guys or whatever, but cost a good chunk of change. We're going to have to start expanding and diversifying a little bit more, right? Because right now, still, to this day, everything is still mining Ethereum, but we got maybe a month of that left, not even, right? Unless something weird happens, which of course could always happen. And, you know, Ethereum just keeps going, which who the heck knows? I mean, really, who knows? But I'm willing to bet September 14th, 15th, 16th, somewhere in there. Chances are that's the cutoff, and that's what we're going to stick with. So what do we mine afterwards? Well, I started looking at ASICs and everything, and it's basically, you know, you got your Bitcoin ASICs, Kadena, your Litecoin, Doge, or whatever, Ethereum, of course. But getting Ethereum ASICs is kind of not a good idea for a few different reasons. And I don't know. It all depends on what Ethereum Classic does and if those ASICs can actually transfer over to Ethereum Classic. Now, some of the older ASICs that are, you know, hashing Ethereum right now or whatever, they're just not going to be able, they're just going to be bricks, basically. They can't go over to Ethereum Classic, or they just won't. More modern ones will get a firmware update. They can go over to Ethereum Classic or any of the other ETH algorithms, and they'll be perfectly fine mining away, but will they be profitable? That's a gamble, and one that I'm actually taking. Let's go inside and check a few things real quick. Now, before I get into any of this, I want to, of course, say this is not financial advice by any means. This is just kind of my ideas, what I think is going to happen, and what I actually kind of sort of hope happens. But on the screen right now, this is my current farm, okay? 7.265 gigahash, but I got a couple of cards that aren't listed on here that are running off Windows machines. So we're actually at about 7.5 gigahash on Ethereum. The question is, you know, where do we point all these cards and such, right? Well, if I go over to what to mine, this is basically my setup, okay? I like to be kind of transparent with this stuff. And in terms of electricity costs, if you scroll down Ethereum, a little over 200 bucks a day, not bad, but 129 after electricity. My electric bill is basically something along the lines of $3,000 plus when you factor in the regular house electricity and everything. It's kind of ooh, like really ooh. So I got to be pretty careful, and I need to start getting things more efficient. So I started looking at Ethereum Classic, and I also was keeping an eye on the potential new fork coming in, right? The ETHPoW, you know, proof of work, or ETHW, I think they're going to try to call it. Quick note on that, I really don't have much confidence in that at all. Everybody is talking mad crap about that, and, you know, they're like one exchange or whatever that's trying to throw some money behind it to keep Ethereum mining essentially going the way it is and make their own chain. I don't want to discount it completely, though. Why is that? Okay. Where does all the money go? The old adage, follow the money, right? So if you have, you know, tens, if not hundreds, if not potential billions, trying to work towards getting this new chain in place and stabilize, and with a lot of investments and the price going up, there's an awful lot of potential to be had there. Right now, it seems like a money grab, right? I think somebody invested what, like 5 million or 10 million into it, which is a drop in the bucket compared to regular Ethereum. It doesn't even compare. It doesn't even come close. But if enough people sign on, if enough of these exchanges listed and try to really push it, if you have large farms that are going to mine it and try to make it the primary currency, you know, it's going to take a very large collective effort to make something like that work. And in all reality, I kind of just don't see it. The possibility's there. A lot of people, you got Son of Tech, Red Panda, I think, and a few others that are just kind of really written it off, said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I completely agree. But the one thing is there is that slight possibility that it could take off. And the thing to look out there for is basically other exchanges and other big investors putting their money where their mouth is. The more people that do that, the more likely it is to potentially succeed. We'll see. My money's not on it, but it could be. With that said, chances are everybody's going to be going to Ethereum Classic. A lot of the old ASIC miners and such are just going to be hopping right over to Ethereum Classic. And, you know, as of basically today or a little bit later, depending where I put this video up, Ethereum itself, regular, is not going to be able to be mined by anything with 5 gigabits or less RAM. Okay? It's a big cutoff. You're going to see a lot of ASICs just all of a sudden disappear from the Ethereum network. Okay, just poof, gone, can't mine it anymore, sorry. Whatever. And that's an awful lot of ASICs out there. There, you know, it doesn't matter if it's Ant Miner, Jazz Miner, you know, Rock and Roll Miner, whatever the heck they're all going at or whatever. A lot of them are just going to disappear off the Ethereum network and go over to Classic. So I want to make Ethereum Classic seem palpable, but I have to be really cautious about this because, you know, I am putting my money where my mouth is, and I really hope I'm not wrong, because if I am wrong, it could be really bad, but we shall see. So first thing I did was I looked at the recent pump in Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic, right about here, is where the difficulty was prior to the pump, which basically took it from, you know, 18, 19 bucks to the current 40 plus where it's at. And you saw for a short time Ethereum Classic being more profitable to mine than actual regular Ethereum. So you got this huge little spike in difficulty right here. It just boop right up. So what I expected to happen was you'd have a whole bunch of miners switching it over, getting those profits, getting rid of them, and then going back to Ethereum or whatever it is that they were doing. But here's the weird thing that happened. You saw like a really slight dip, and then it stabilized and even went up. Right now, it's almost as high as it's ever been. You know, you look at all time, boom, we're way over here at the corner. Way over here. I wasn't expecting that. I was definitely not expecting that. So that's actually a good sign, because we're seeing some stability. We're seeing some miners who decided, okay, we're off of Ethereum, we're getting on Classic, and we're just going to stay there. We're good. Okay. That's actually a really, really good sign. And when you look at this, Flexpool is the one I like to use for the most part, but you know, when you look at the current profitability, Ethereum Classic and Ethereum, you know, yeah, that's a big difference right here, right now. But if you just said, okay, bye-bye Ethereum, it's no longer there, Ethereum Classic is there, we can still eke out a profit on this, depending on electricity costs and everything. So that's all well and good, but here's the issue that we're going to have once Ethereum goes to proof of stake. You're going to have all the GPUs, all the ASICs, everything and its mother is going to disappear from that network and is just going to show up on Ethereum Classic, or it's going to go to Ergo, Firo, Flux, you know, Ravencoin, wherever the heck it is it's going to go. But a lot of it is going to go to Ethereum Classic. So what does that end up doing? That's going to shoot the difficulty up significantly, significantly more. Which means as we mine, as it is right now, we're going to get less and less and less. You know, we're going to get less because of the difficulty, but we're going to get less because of the pool size is getting so much gooder, bigger, whatever the heck, and profits just tank. Maybe. What can curb that? Well, if the price of Ethereum Classic continues to go up in relative proportion to the difficulty, which we've seen happen now and then, a lot of people want to discount, it's like, oh, the difficulty goes up, so the price, the difficulty doesn't affect the price. I've heard people say that. They're dumb, okay? If more people mining, the higher the difficulty, more people mining, it does affect the price, supply, demand, etc., whatever, okay? So if a ton of people go on Ethereum Classic, I'm kind of expecting the price to go up in proportion. So, but will it go up enough to make mining completely viable? Maybe, maybe not. Right now, it's going to be the Wild West. Okay, well, September 15th, 16th, around there, whenever proof of stake, Ethereum goes proof of stake, it's going to be the Wild West. There's going to be price fluctuations all over the place. This is what I'm thinking is going to happen, right? Not financial advice. Keep that in mind. I got to repeat myself because some people are dumb. But I just don't see any kind of stability happening anytime soon. You're going to see price fluctuations all over the place. But like I said, with Ethereum Classic and the difficulty there, that surprised me as to how stable that became. So if we can get another difficulty hop, stabilize, and the price also stabilize with it, we might just be continuing to mine almost unfettered just over on Ethereum Classic. Now, there's a lot of naysayers on this, okay? I think it was Voscoin. I watched one of his videos. For whatever reason, he really, really hates this. He really hates Ethereum Classic. I don't know why. It almost seems like a personal grudge. But if it ends up being the go-to coin, has some value there, hey, what do we care? We go get our money, right? That's kind of the whole point of this. We need to keep things rolling. We need to keep the electricity on and powered. So what I'm kind of expecting to happen is, as Ethereum goes proof of stake, Ethereum Classic prices probably will end up going up. Hopefully, maybe the difficulty is going to go up. You'll have a lot more people mining on it. And then, of course, as of today, basically, more or less, the DAG size increases, and you have all the 5 gig or less ASICs that are just, they can't do Ethereum anymore, so they're going to come over to Ethereum Classic. Think of it this way. With the DAG size increasing, you're going to see a lot of ASICs just go, boop, Ethereum Classic, okay? So we're going to have like a little bit of a flavor to see like a month ahead of time, before the proof of stake, where Ethereum Classic is going to go and how it behaves. And then once Ethereum goes proof of stake, we see the big one happen, okay? So depending what happens over the next few days might be a really good indicator of what happens a month from now when proof of stake hits. So, I just go around here, this is one of my current guys here, and, I love Flexpool. For whatever reason, I just like it. And I do pretty good here. And if you look at the blocks, look at this. I really wish I was solo mining. I really do. Look at this right here. 4 of them in 1 month. That's like missing out on almost 5 ETH. It's RNG. The second I start trying to solo mine, I get nothing. And trust me, that's always how it works. But if you look at the price, Ethereum price, almost 1900. Ethereum Classic has been sitting right around this all day for the most part. So I'm trying to think, what do I do? What kind of gamble am I going to take? What should I try? So I decided, okay, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I think Ethereum Classic will probably be perfectly mineable and profitable for a long period of time. It does depend a little bit on electricity. You need to be efficient. So I thought, okay, I don't want to go spending a ridiculous amount on a whole bunch of ASICs or something, because ASICs are generally a lot more efficient than GPUs. But I want to get my feet wet. I don't own any ASICs right now. Well, that's changing. AMP Holo V1 Mini. This is the 300 megahash version, and apparently with a firmware update, it can get 310 to 320 from what I'm hearing. And that's not terribly bad. Now, I ordered more than one of these guys, and at a price much gooder than that. Well, not much gooder, but gooder. So this is going to be kind of like my short-term gamble / experiment, whatever it is that you want to call it.
These are basically 300 hash at 240 watts. Very, very efficient. They're all in one. And I don't want to do any kind of review on them right now because I don't have them on hand. I don't want to ever review products that I don't have on hand, but going from what I've heard, these aren't all that bad. And plus, it's a good way to get my feet wet when it comes to ASICs. You know, I do have one really old Bitcoin miner ASIC thing. It's long ago. It is not profitable. I turn it on, I lose like $3 a day in electricity. That's how horrible it is. Okay, I have one. I know how they work. I've set it up. I've toyed around with it. For a little while there, I actually had it set up as a Bitcoin lottery machine. Just turn it on and be like, hey, if I get lucky, I get lucky, right? Solve the block. Nah, it didn't happen. Didn't expect it to happen. Not for like another million years or something unless I had it on that long. But I couldn't afford that electric bill, so we didn't go there. So I do have some of these coming, and I ordered them from someplace else. And that's one of the things I'm going to also start doing is ASIC reviews, assuming I can get them and afford them. The farm is eventually going to start shifting over to that. I want to diversify. So all those GPUs that you saw earlier on in the video, for the most part, I'm keeping those. I might sell the AMD ones. The AMD ones are actually really efficient. But at the same time, they're slightly older models, and I would like to use that money to try to do other things or try to mine other things. You know, it's one of those things where I'm trying to optimize it, and if I sell anything, those might be the first ones to go. Potentially, you know, my Vega 64 and 5700 XT rigs. So, hey, if anybody's interested, let me know, right? Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys. I really appreciate it. And another little tidbit, I probably at some point here, instead of having the mining stuff mixed in with all the Princess Connect and, you know, live streams from playing video games on the Weeb Lounge, I probably will end up making another channel at some point and maybe doing a little bit of a rebrand or something just to kind of keep them separated because, you know, mixing all this stuff up it kind of gets lost in the shuffle, right? So maybe I'll specialize it and put a little bit more attention to it. I would love to do at least one video a day, but, you know, we'll see about that. It all depends on time and whatever everything is that I can do. So, but this is our first dive into ASICs, guys. You know, having a 7.5 gigahash GPU farm is in and of itself, you know, pretty big for a home miner. And then I'm going to be adding even more with the AMP Holos here. And I went with these, even though they're a little bit more expensive, because they have 6 gigabit of video RAM. Well, like effective 5.8 or something like that. So when these do show up, I will actually be able to mine Ethereum on them for a short little bit of time. But over on Ethereum Classic, I think I can mine Ethereum Classic till something like 2031 or something. So as long as it remains profitable, basically plug it in and check on it a decade later. I could only wish. I could only wish. But there's also that little bit of a gamble, like if the merge doesn't happen, there's still that chance that the merge gets delayed, something happens, blah, 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 and we can still mine Ethereum. And if that ends up coming to fruition, which would be nice as far as I'm concerned, these guys will have a little bit better profitability in a short term or maybe long term if it never merges. So we don't know what the heck's going to happen. We really don't. But this is my first little gamble on it. What do you guys think? That I make the right choice? That I got more, like I said, I got more. I don't want to say yet, but I got more than one of these guys coming. And I want to know if you guys think I made the right decision to start at least mixing in some ASICs. You know, we're not giving up the GPUs. We're just putting some ASICs in along with it. Diversify. Got to spread our wings. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, I don't know what to mine. See you in the next video.